Hello, welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. It's Sunday morning and I have a few projects around here that I want to get done. So I was going to take you along with me and show you what I'm working on today. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to work on, I have these pins right here. There's one off to my left. There's one here in the middle, which has an alley going into my arena, and there's another pin over here. When I'm working my cows, what I do is I put my group in one pin, use them to train the horses, and then swap them over to the other pin. And what I like to do is have hay out here so that I can give them hay while they're in. And I had a roll sitting right here in front of me and just letting them go to it and eat it, and they pretty much, of course, made a mess out of it, which no big surprise. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this area right here up, and I'm going to set a roll of hay here and then put a couple of panels right across the front. And what that's going to allow me to do is take a fork and pull hay out and put it in each of these pins for the cows to eat. I'll be able to put it some in the arena when I turn cows out in the arena, and it's going to keep it pinned off so that they're not going to tear it up and it won't be near as much waste. I actually have another one of my feeders ordered, and that's going to take the place of this. If you haven't seen that video, I'll post a link to it up top. There's a really awesome roll bale feeder, and I have practically no waste with those. So when I get the new one in, that's probably where that feeder is going to go. But for right now, I'm just going to set it on the ground, fence it off right here, and that'll be my temporary solution until I get my new feeder. So first thing we're going to do is scrape this back, clean it off just a little bit, and I'll go get some panels to wall this off, then we'll set a roll of hay there. So let's get started. This particular tractor, I was told by a couple people, it's way too small. Don't get a tractor that small, you'll regret it. And that is something that I have not regretted this tractor one bit. This tractor has been perfect for my needs as far as size. It does what I need it to do, work in these tight spaces like this. I love this size tractor. This particular tractor, not so much. It's got a couple little design problems. You may have seen videos I posted about that. But don't be afraid to buy a small tractor. I love it. It does everything I need it to do. Another thing, I see a lot of posts on Facebook about, is it okay to put rolls out in the pasture for my horses? And I'm amazed at how definitive the answers are. I see answers from like one extreme of it's okay, do it, to don't do it, my horse is colicked and almost died. I hardly ever see what I think is the correct answer, which is it depends on your situation. If you're feeding one horse and you put this roll of hay out, then of course that hay is going to mildew and cause problems with your horse. My situation, I'm feeding a couple of horses intermittently off of it. I'm feeding quite a few cows for a few hours a day off of it. And the reality is this roll will, I try to stretch it to make it last a week to 10 days. So the roll doesn't have time to mildew and go bad. So whether you feed roll hay outside or not, it depends on your situation. Now, if you're going to feed it to horses, you need to make sure that it was baled as horse quality hay. But if you're going to feed horses out in the pasture, depends on your situation. And putting the roll right here on the ground is just a temporary solution for me. I have another one of my no waste hay feeders ordered. I did a video on mine. I love it. Best hay feeder I've ever used. I have another one ordered. When it comes in, I'm probably going to put it right here. So I'm going to get the rest of these strings off. I always pull the strings off a roll of hay. You don't want a horse or a cow eating it. And I see some people putting the bale flat like this. I see some people standing it up on end. Again, that depends on your situation. When it's standing up on end, the bad part of that is it would rain on the end and you could get a little bit of rain soaking in. But then again, it's not going to last very long. It doesn't really matter. And also when it's standing up on end, the rolls fall off easier. So if you're pulling it off by hand, it would be easier that way. But I prefer to do mine this way. It's going to be a little bit harder to pull off, but I feel like I have less chance of the rain soaking into the bale of hay. Get the rest of these strings off. And then we'll get started with our next project. Just about got this one knocked out. I hear somebody behind me wants some hay. So we'll get it set on the ground, pull the tractor out. I'll give some hay to a couple horses. So I know this is not an ideal arrangement, but it's just temporary until I get my other feeder. And I put a little cord in the clip right here so that I could clip it shut. And this way I can pull off hay. I could do it with squares, but squares are so expensive. And this is going to save me a good bit of money. Even with losing a little bit of hay on the bottom, it's going to save me a little money. And we'll move on to our next project. So my next project for the day, when my tractor broke down a while back, I was actually bush hogging this pasture right here. And we have some ryegrass seed and fertilizer coming this coming up week. So I need to get this pasture bush hogged so we can get some ryegrass seed on it. And we'll get started on that now. So I just got started cutting and I get a phone call and Melissa calls me and offers to come get on the tractor and push hog for me. So as you see behind me, it's all cut, and we're all ready for fertilizer and seed. And since she got on the tractor and cut for me, I was able to move on to my next project, which is work on electric fence charger, and Troy helped me with that. So let me show you what we did there. So this is the fence charger that I had that was doing all of my electric fence here. And even though that it says that it's good for 18 miles, and I don't have nowhere near 18 miles of fence hooked to it, it wasn't putting out enough power. At first I thought I had a short, and I went everywhere. I mean, I checked every inch of this fence and there was nothing shorted out anywhere. And what I started doing in the process of checking the fence was I would disconnect sections of the fence. And what was happening was, as I would disconnect parts of it, the voltage was coming up. I was only getting like 2,000 to 3,000 volts. And then as I would disconnect parts of the fence, voltage was coming up, and I was getting 7,000 to 8,000 volts. If I just had part of the fence gone and checking it right at the box, I was having a full 12,000 volts. So what I come to the conclusion was, even though it says that it's good for 18 miles, it just wasn't putting out enough to power up the amount of fence that I had. So what I did, I took this charger down and hooked it to just this cross fence tape. And with just this tape, I'm getting about 7,000 or 8,000 volts on it. So that's enough to do what I need to do. And I put a plug-in charger where this fence charger was, and it's powering my perimeter, and I'm getting about 8,000 volts on it. So everything is charged now. Now I'm going to be able to put my tape gates back up so that I can go back to rotating pastures, and I'll put my low tape back up down here. I had taken it down, getting my footage down, trying to get this fence charge to work. So that's what we've done. That was our projects for Sunday, and we're ready for fertilizer. Got our electric fence all back hot. Got the hay out for the horses. So it was a pretty productive day. Really appreciate Melissa and Troy helping me get them done. I hope you liked the video and maybe got a little bit of information out of it. And if you are already a subscriber to my channel, I want to thank you for subscribing. If you're not, if you would, please click the subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.